Hi and welcome to Stridemade. I'm Amy Carlon, your host and founder of Stridemade and Carlon Co. Stridemade is all about what you make of your challenges, as the saying goes, take it in your stride. I wanted to create a community where I could share more about my experiences from running Carlon Co and having a business for like 12 plus years at this point. And I don't want this to be a lecture. It is merely a conversation, and take from it what you will. Our motto is let the story be the lesson. And even if that is just taking a laugh from it at my own expense, that is so fine. I've had a very interesting life, and I feel like I have a lot of funny stories to tell and a lot of advice I could give based on those stories. In this episode, I wanted to talk a little bit more about myself, Amy Carlon, a little bit about my disability, where I grew up, and now where I'm at with my career. So I now live in Geelong, Victoria, Australia. I run my business, Carlon Co, which offers photography and videography services. I grew up in an area called the Southern Highlands, like Moss Vale Barrel kind of area, until I was 19. And I was born with a disability called distal arthrogryposis syndrome. So essentially that shortens your tendons, changes your muscle fibers in some cases, and then it contracts your joints. So my feet were born severely turned inwards. I've got restricted movement in some of my fingers, my shoulder, got a smaller jaw, smaller airways. There's lots of things that it impacts. Funny enough, I met two people in Geelong. They're my friends now, and we all have the same disability. We all look the same, and it's so weird to look just like someone that you're not related to. It's honestly wild. I have since been diagnosed with a wealth of other conditions from bipolar 2, ADHD, PTSD, endometriosis, celiac disease, and currently going through some pretty bad thyroid issues. So just to add that to the list. Anyway, so I had lots of tendon surgeries, Achilles tendons lengthened. I had 2 Alizarov frames and 1 Taylor spatial frame. So people might know those as halos, where people have the pins in their heads, but I had them on my legs and I wore them for like 9 months, and you turn the bolts and it would slowly raise your foot. So I was an ambient wheelchair user until the age of 20, and then I built up more strength and also a bit of mind over matter once you'd been so reliant on aids growing up. And I guess I was also really nervous I would hurt myself. In my gap year, my parents moved to a small town between Wagga and Canberra called Young, and I then moved to Wagga for university at Charles Sturt University. And I studied a Bachelor of Creative Arts and Design and majored in photography, and then did my postgrad in marketing. I lived on campus for the first few years at university, and I'll forever be grateful for my friends I made and the people I lived with, because they really showed me that the only limitations you have are the ones that you set yourself. And they just pushed me out of my comfort zone. And as much as I don't necessarily now see the value in what I studied at university, I see so much value in the social skills that I gained moving to university. I was a very introverted person in a sense, would always be nervous to try new things, and it was the best decision I ever made. I don't know why I went to university. I guess I just got to year 12 and everyone was going, and I was like, I guess I have to go to. So that's how I ended up going to university. Since university, I finished uni. The only other job I've had for 6 months is working for my university in the Office of Vice Chancellor, helping with their social media for 6 months during my postgrad. Otherwise, for the past 12, 13 years, I've worked for myself for Carlon Co. And once I'd finished my postgrad, I then decided to come down to Geelong for a 5-day trip to see if I wanted to move here. The year prior, me and my mum had come down for a few days and I liked it. And then on the way down is when I kind of got emailed about applying for this job for the uni. So I decided to do that to see if working in that office environment was good for me, particularly being disabled. Work opportunities are a little bit trickier. And I was like, maybe this is a great way to get that experience in a comfortable zone. The university, I lived there, I know the people. So I tried that, hated it. Hated it. That's another story, that's another episode. But I then came down for a 5-day trip and I really liked it. And when I was coming down, I had messaged someone prior to that I'd followed on Instagram, their nature stuff, but they'd also worked in an agency. And I said to them, oh my goodness, can you tell me where I should live? So then when I was down, I could check it out. Especially being a young disabled female moving 8 hours away from her family. I knew no one here. And they essentially lined me up with someone to get me some marketing work, which was great. And while my mum came down to help me look for properties and all of that stuff, I was able to line up some shoots with them. So it gave me the confidence to move here. And I did those shoots prior to moving here. And then I got a few more jobs from them, but I soon also realized that working solely for marketing agencies I might as well have just stayed at my job at the university. I really wanted to facilitate shoots and bookings myself. And so I came for that 5-day trip, went back home and was like, I'm moving. And I moved 8 weeks later. I got a house maybe a couple of weeks before I wanted to move. And I just packed up and left. Didn't know anyone, didn't really have any work lined up, but I just had an instinct that it was going to be the right decision. It has been a very turmoil 6 years, and having been stuck in another state during the time of the pandemic when we weren't allowed to go to other states was very hard. I'd only lived in Geelong for 7 months, which was wild to then not be able to leave. And I have had some very interesting relationship breakdowns during that time as well. And all while doing that, I have somehow continued to build my business. I remember 2021, at the time, my partner that I was living with that I had just met before COVID. So it was great because it kept me in Geelong. Otherwise, I totally would have moved back during that time. Basically, he told me he was not faithful. And at that time, we weren't aware of my bipolar. And that's when, my word, manic depressive episode obviously took over. And I was 2 weeks out from my first endo surgery to be diagnosed. And I was very unwell. And fast forward, I'll tell you in depth that story another time. Fast forward, I had to move back to New South Wales to be looked after surgery. And I decided impulsively to get a subcontractor on board. And I was like, hey, I'll train you from afar and I'll edit in another state. Can you go do X, Y, Z for me? And they were great. They were so helpful. And in that moment, I just knew I wasn't willing to sacrifice anything because our life had been put on hold. So yeah, somehow I managed to continue to build that up. And since being diagnosed with bipolar and how unwell I was for the past 3 years while navigating that, I did not stop. And here we are, 2026. I have built something I'm very proud of. It has been so busy. And only the last 8 weeks have I decided, hey, maybe you should work a little less. And when I decided that, and I'm shooting less during the week now, I then decided to start this whole second business. But I just wanted an outlet where I wasn't physically exhausting myself all the time. I have definitely built something I'm really proud of. I was doing 30 to 50 shoots practically solo for almost 18 months, the past 18 months. And I have used subcontractors from time to time, and the people that I have used, they're the most gracious and understanding people who genuinely want to just help me. It's not even for their own benefit. And I'm so grateful that when I need help for things outside of scheduling, that they're willing to help me physically and be my legs, which is really nice. And I don't know what the next 12 months is going to look like with my work, but I'm really excited to have more time to develop and grow things outside of just being on site shooting and sitting at my laptop editing nonstop. I have a lot of stories to tell you about the last 12 years of running my own business, and particularly the last 18 months. And I feel like these stories are everything people could so easily relate to. when it comes to business, and the draining factor of it, and the people skills, and managing multiple clients at the same time while navigating your own health and personal life can be so challenging. And I definitely want to get more into those stories in the next episodes. But thank you for listening to my little ramble about myself so far. Oh my goodness, I didn't tell you about my dog. I have a dog called Huxley. He's a miniature schnauzer. Everyone loves Huxley. He's a cranky old man now. He's about to turn 9. But you might see him from time to time in these videos if you watch it on YouTube. Otherwise, you might hear his pitter-patter paws throughout the videos because old man rules the roost here. So anyways, I look forward to talking more with you all in the coming episodes. And if you ever have any questions or topics or anything you want me to touch on, don't hesitate to send us a message or comment, and we will see what we can do.